Hi everyone, this is Callie. Thanks so much for stopping by and sharing a part of your day with me and watching this video. Today I'm creating a card using the You Have My Heart stamp set. There's lots of beautiful florals meant for Valentine's Day, but it can be used for any love occasion. So I'm going to be using that large floral spray in the top right hand corner and a bunch of loose elements to create my card today. I've stamped them out and now I'll be coloring with Copic markers. Now on this first flower, it's very loose and open, and it's kind of got that swirly feel to it. So I'm adding the darker colors on the inside loop of each curvature, if that makes sense. And then I will add the medium color and then the lightest color. The three colors I'm using today are set, the caps are set on the left for you so you can see what I'm using. Again, I'm just adding the darkest color down first, and then I'm going to apply the medium shade over that to blend it out a little bit. And then I will add the lightest color to blend even further. Now, I've said this before in previous videos, I kind of color backwards using the darkest color first. I find that with smaller areas, it kind of doesn't matter what you use first. And I'll show you after I finish this petal here that I'm going to shade with the lightest color first, and you won't even notice a difference between what color shade of marker you start with first, because the tiny area allows for a lot of ink to saturate the cardstock and does the blending without you having to do a whole lot of work. So now I'm using the lightest color just to show you that it really doesn't make a difference what color you shade with first. So I've applied that lightest color and now I'm going to go in with the dark, and then I'll blend it out with the medium. And then I kind of have to go back in with the lighter color to blend out those darker shades. So in my opinion, it's just more work for smaller areas to start with the lightest color, but that's just my opinion. Don't hold me to it. All right, so now I want to talk about cardstock briefly because I've been meaning to talk about this and I haven't remembered to, and I think this is a great time to do that. I love Nina 80-pound cardstock. However, for a couple of years now, I've been using Hammermill cardstock, and I find that it's a lot smoother. So it's great for ink blending. The density and weight is very similar to Nina 80 pounds, and it is now carried by Simon Says Stamp. I love that I was able to request that from them, so I just wanted to share that with you, that it is available through Simon Says Stamp, and you can buy this cardstock, and it's very affordable. I love it, and if anything, if using Copic markers doesn't work for you, it works great for me. It's a smooth cardstock and works great for ink blending. All right, so now moving on to the green, I'm using two shades of green because there are two different types of leaves, and I want to differentiate with the shading on those colors just to bring in a little bit of the lighter and the more olive tones. And then we've got berries here, so I am just coloring those with some reds. And once we're done, I'm just going to die cut everything and then we can start creating our card. Okay, so lately here I've been adding the white gel highlights at the very end. So I know I usually say do it after die cutting, but then I found recently that I think doing it at the end is better for me. I feel like everything looks nice and clean and fresh. There aren't any fingerprints smearing things, so it's smarter to do it that way. All right, so I've got a piece of fog cardstock here to lay my images against. I've laid it out to figure out where I want my sentiment to be. So now I'm going to emboss it with white embossing powder. I'll go ahead and stamp that with Versamark ink. I've prepared my surface with an anti-static bag, and I will add white embossing and heat set that. If you're familiar with my work, you know that I love my black embossed sentiment strips. That's because I don't plan for the sentiments before the card is done. So this time I planned ahead, and I went ahead and planned it out so that I've embossed and then finished my card. So now that I have my sentiment embossed, I'm just going to ink blend my favorite color combo over colored cardstock, and that's Tattered Rose, Worn Lipstick, and Seedless Preserves. I'm doing it from the bottom left-hand corner and going all the way up, and now I'll just take a microfiber cloth and clean off that sentiment to get it shining and new again. All right, so now here's my favorite new tool, you guys. This is the Tim Holtz Decal Torn Edge Trimmer. I love the edge that it gives. I love that rough, rustic look. And so I'm just gonna add that decorative border to my cardstock by trimming off 1/4 inch off the edges. Okay, so now that we have that decorative edge, we can go ahead and plan out where we want our flowers. I've got this big floral spray that I'm going to hang at the bottom of my card first, and then I'm going to lay out roughly what I want the top to look like, and then I'll start adhering everything down with foam adhesive. I love giving my images a lot of dimension, so foam is definitely the way to go. And I won't be trimming anything down because remember, we trimmed this panel by 1/4 inch all around, and I really do love overhang, so I don't mind it at all. You'll see here I'm going to be flipping the panels over, and you'll see that I did have to stamp twice. I messed up the stamping the first time. So whenever you mess up, just flip it over, don't waste the cardstock, and try again. So we have a rough layout right now. I've got the main images on the card, but we've got a bunch of fillers on the left, which I'll add slowly one by one to fill in those open spaces. So that's really important. It's kind of like floral arrangements. I've always said that when I retire, after being a pharmacist before becoming a card maker, that I wanted to be a florist. So this kind of fills my needs on a card. So as you saw, I did add some white gel highlights, and since there's all that dimension on that floral panel, I'm adding adhesive to my card base to attach that panel. Last but not least, I love using these Nuvo white drops. I love the way Yana uses them on her cards, and I was inspired to do that on my card today to finish it off. I'm using a swirling motion. I feel like that kind of helps loosen up the ends and keeps that roundness to the shape of your drops without distorting that circle that you want to create. And that finishes my card for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you were inspired by this, please tag on social media. I'd love to see your work, and I appreciate you stopping by and spending time with me today. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.